Okay, so welcome to the starting and coordinating your own anatomy and physiology lab. I'm going to talk to you today about how I got started the anatomy lab here and all the collaboration that we received, how we did it, and let's see if that can help you. Again, my name is Esmeralda Sweeney. I'm the Associate Dean of the Academic Success Center here at North Campus. I've been an Associate Dean in Administration for the past 3.5 years or so. Before that, I was a coordinator here of the ASC as well, and that was a total of 15 years. I was there part-time, so it was a total of 18 years here at the ASC. I love North Campus, the students, what I do, and overseeing all the academic support services center that we have here. And with me today, I want to make sure that you get a lot of diverse opinion, and because again, it is a group effort. It's Marta.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marta Bautista. I am the Science Center Coordinator. I've been tutoring here at Broward College. I started off tutoring anatomy and physiology. I've been tutoring for 6 years now, and I've been given the opportunity to actually coordinate the lab. So thank you, Esmeralda and Dean Essie, for that great opportunity. And when I took anatomy and physiology lab, we were in that, our staff lounge now, so now we're to this wonderful facility, so I'm very grateful for that. I actually graduated as an X-ray technician here with Associates in Science here at Broward College, and I'm working on a bachelor degree in supervision and management. And here we have Francois.
Hello everyone. My name is Francois Sylvain. I am the senior tutor here and a supplemental instructor as well. I'm a medical specialist, graduated from the Army Medical School. I'm certified by the Surgeon General of the Army, and I've had the opportunity to be able to provide assistance and instruction here at the level of ANP for the past 5 years, and I am so grateful. And I'm liking the collaboration that I've been having with my supervisors and the students, and I'll continue to do this. And I'm presenting you Dr. Ehsan Siddique.
Hi, Dr. Ehsan Siddique. I teach anatomy and physiology here. I've been also teaching for many years, somehow got involved with this, so you see me here. And let Ms. Sweeney continue with her presentation. We'll say a little bit of that.
All right, so as you can see, we have a faculty member, a pioneer of the ANP lab, a great cheerleader of us. You're going to hear from the tutor, and also you're going to hear from the daily operations of the anatomy lab from Marta. So let's start with the why. Why even create an anatomy and physiology lab? So I don't want to repeat the stuff you're going to hear if you were on my tour, things that I said before, but just to make sure. The main reason was that we wanted to create and provide a student with a kinesthetic approach to learning. Anatomy student has a completely different curriculum and mode of study than your regular classroom, English, math sort of pedagogy. So these students, basically, they would go to the actual anatomy and physiology lab on campus. They're given, for example, the brain, and they get to study and say, okay, you need to identify this, you need to identify and memorize that. An hour and 15 minutes after the class is over, they go home, and that's it. They don't get to see the model, they don't get to touch anything yet. Then they come back, they're going to get tested, and the way they get tested is in times. And Marta's going to talk a little about that. But we're going to be timed 1 minute to be able to identify specific things on that particular model. So because of that, we saw that there was a need and a demand to provide students with that particular skill and make sure that they have access to those models. Also the same thing with the microscope outside of the classroom. Also, having a lab, as you all know, create a great community of learners. This is a place where students can come over and look for other students in their same class, maybe or different classes of anatomy. Maybe they're all trying to get into the nursing program, which is very competitive. And they get a place where they can meet all. It's not the same as doing it one-on-one in a tutor where you come and you leave and you come and you leave. Here, everybody that comes in here, if you don't know someone from your class, at least you bump into someone that maybe is in another class but has the same goals and needs as you. The other thing is, and Dr. Proctor touched on that a little bit this morning, we have a very large health science program, and it's also very competitive. So the students not only have to pass the classes, they have to get a high grade on the class. Okay, and then again, on top of that, a high GPA. And anatomy 1, anatomy 2, and chemistry for the health science are all gateway courses, meaning they're gateway to the degree. If they don't pass that class, that's it, they're not gonna be a nurse. So why not provide the student with the most support possible so that they can be as successful as possible in these classes, so that they can get into the science program if they so, deserve it and have the skills, right? So I don't know about you, but I would love my nurses, because we see our nursing students in the hospital, to be taking good care of me and my family, and to know all the subject in detail, not just when they get over there. I want them when they go to the anatomy classes to know very thoroughly. And that is a goal that the anatomy and physiology faculty have. Make sure they know it very thoroughly, not memorization, but they know exactly what they're doing. So that's one of the reasons. I wanted to give you a little bit of history and of how we started the anatomy lab, and I also wanted to encourage you, because even though you are seeing this wonderful and beautiful setting, this is not how it used to be. So if you take anything from this presentation before, and actually from the conference in general, is that you should start with what you have. So we gotta start somewhere. So in about 1999, this was our anatomy lab. This was actually an actual tutoring cubicle, where you just have two people, one-on-one tutoring. And we put there, what you see here, this is it. A torso, a leg, and an arm. We don't have anything else. So we average about 56 students, 104 hours. So then the students kept coming and coming, it's like, wow, it's like they don't fit in the cubicle. So this actually, I guess there is, we're doing something here. And in about, fast forward a few years, where the shelves where we have books and DVDs and stuff, we opened a space, rearranged things, got rid of old stuff, and put us on tables, and made that the anatomy and physiology lab. Perfect, that was working out. As you can see, there was an increase in hours as well. And then when Martha was mentioning, then they already again outgrew that, and we couldn't just fit them there. So we put them in what used to be our kitchen, which is that over there. So we gave up our lounge at that time and said, okay, fine, you guys come over here and stay over here. And this is what that looked like. And that was in 2009. By that point, we had more models, we're a little bit more organized. As you can see, it's always very crowded, just because today, we closed and it's Friday at 4. And then in 2012 is when we did our big jump. We had a room here before the remodelation that we were able to get funded cabinets for the cabinet, which is actually these cabinets over here. And for the remodeling, they moved it over there to save money. So now we're getting there ready, and again, packed. And we were able to see two of these things function. And this is why these glass doors are here, when we wanted to have this workshop here so you can actually see. Over here is more like the little quiet area, and over there is more interactive. And again, Martha is gonna go over that. So first semester, this will get on average about 400 students a semester. They spend about 3,800 hours. We get thousands of visits. That's just the students, but the visits. Actually, when you compare it to the writing lab and the math lab, it's the highest lab time spent when we look at our data students. And anatomy kind of yield that, but I would think also math will yield that length spent, but they're spending more. Actually, the attendance is comparable to the English lab, not to the math lab is, but to the English lab. And this is completely volunteer. They don't have to come. They don't, if they want to. Some instructors may offer extra credit, but they don't have to. They see the need, they see the results, so they definitely do come here. And it continues to grow, just like my math and my English lab. Every semester and throughout the years, we see the exact same growth in all areas: student visits, students hours spent, and all that sort of stuff, and unduplicated count. So again, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. And I think that is definitely something that Academic Success Center and Learning Centers, we know all about that. But I think it's also very easy for us to say, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, and then we don't do it. Sometimes, and especially in this budget and economic climate, you just do whatever you can, whatever. Pick together, be creative, and put things together as much as you can. This is a little bit of data on the success. We're happy to say that the figures say specifically for Anatomy Lab 1, 58% of students enrolled in Anatomy 1 lab come to the lab and use the lab. Again, no requirement, no nothing, out of their own decision, and of course our promotion as well. The success rate in anatomy courses, the students that come over here have a 14.2 higher success rate than the ones that do not come to the lab. So we have that out to back up. And also, You want this number so you can show the numbers people, which is how they talk at the top, and as they should. We all have our roles. So when you show data like this, and you can say this is definitely something that will yield success. And retention rate, we got those numbers recently, a 1.3 difference between those who come to the lab and do not come. So these are very promising numbers. So if you never start, you're never gonna get the data. So you have to start somewhere so you can start showing. When the students start telling the campus president, I love the A&P lab, I love the models, then you get a little bit of each of the things. So how we get it started, and perhaps you could get it started as well. As Professor Siddique said, collaboration is definitely the key. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the free sources first, and then other sources as well as funding. The science lab on campus. If you actually offer a science lab in your campus, those are going to be your bread and butter at the beginning, because they actually collect lab fees and they actually have the money to buy those models. But guess what happened? Any little thing, like if it's chipped, if it's broken, one thing is missing, they need to get rid of it because it's not good for instruction, but it's perfect for us. So go over there, talk to your science lab manager and say, what did you got for me? Or next time you need to get rid of something, call me first and I'll come and get it. So we totally got started with building that relationship with the lab managers, the faculty, and the head of the department, and anything, lots of models and everything so came directly from the lab, and so did the microscope. Whenever it's like, okay, we're going to replenish our inventory, get rid of some microscopes, they give us the hand-me-downs. I'll take anything. It's like whatever is free at the beginning, just take it. You know, and that includes the science department as well. But the science department also includes, they give us a lot of textbooks to start and microscope slides. Those are a little expensive too, and they break easily. So those are like hard also as well. So they gave us a bunch, like a whole tray, so because they have a lot of duplicates of it. So that got us started. We used to have just one microscope and one, whole tray of all the slides. So that's a good way too. Health science department. The nursing department sometimes actually in their lab have the skeleton and muscles and all that sort of stuff. So go ahead and ask, what did you got? Do you have anything that you can give me? Physical therapy. Our physical therapy tutor uses skeletons and things like that as well. So go ahead over there and ask. And again, just try to be as creative as possible. We had some art students coming over, required by the faculty coming over to draw over here, some muscles and skeleton, that was part of the thing. So you might even be surprised, some art or departments that you don't know about have things like that they use to support the materials in class. So spread the word, make connection, start begging and telling everybody you know what you're looking for, especially the deans of academic affairs, that sort of stuff, because they hear from everybody. Other things that I do. We fully fund all my tutoring through Perkins Grant, okay? In the past, the college was used to using Perkins Grant just for equipment. So if your college is doing that, you can pay tutors from that, and that would be health science only. That would be, the Perkins Grant is only for like technical education and AAS degrees and things like that. So if you do have that, you can say, what we argue with them was that if they don't pass anatomy and chemistry for the health science anatomy class, they cannot get into the health science. So it's a prerequisite to the program, so they were able to fund us for that. So we were able to get all the tutoring from that. We also got at the beginning to get it started, we applied for a program development grant. It was just an institutional grant on like any new initiative, what new program you want to start, something like that, and they gave us a little bit of a pot of money. We did that. That's not sustainable, but it got us started for like 2 or 3 years until we built our data. They said, this is wonderful, you need to continue to fund it permanently. And repurpose budget. I used to have a huge budget for non-print material, which was videos and books. Nobody does videos and DVDs and anything anymore. So instead of letting the money sit there, I'm like, well, what about, these are like non-print materials. These are actually materials, So they say, sure, no problem. So that is where I buy all my models.
Really?
Yes, from non-print material budget. So I take from my from my budget, and we have that's actually with the library. The Broward County Library gives us that budget of non-print and print, and we were able to get that money from there as well. And there is college funding. Again, every time somebody says, I have a few $1,000s, if you need anything, my dean comes over and says, you need anything, we're going out to ask for equipment. There's some like a student touch type of thing, like funding and stuff like that. Even if it's one thing, get yourself an arm, a model, just get yourself started. It's totally worth it. So now Martha's gonna talk to you about the everyday things. And at the end, you'll have time to do questions too, okay?
Thank you. Right, so on a daily basis, how does the lab function? Well, students use this lab on a daily basis. Just this semester alone, winter 2015, there's been over 2,000 visitations so far. So they could either be from anatomy and physiology students 1 and 2, it could be from microbiology students, and from nursing students, or physical therapist assistant students, because we offer tutoring in all those subjects. As you can see in this room and in the other room, we have models. We have over 200 models. We have from a simple vertebrae to a life-size torso model. We have currently 13 microscopes in the lab. I do have some microscopes on the storage, just in case something happens to one of the objectives or the ocular lenses of the microscope. I'm able to actually just switch it out until I get the technician in. So that's just in case. So like I said, there are tutors, various tutors, a total of 9 tutors between A&P, microbiology, and PTA, and nursing. We offer tutoring 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, and even evening hours. So it's very flexible with the students and tutors as well. Let's see. We have what we call open sessions and one-on-one sessions. Good thing for the volume of our A&P tutors, for the A&P tutors that we have, which we have was 7, and the amount of students that we have, all of our sessions for anatomy and physiology are open session. What does open session consist of? It consists of the student just comes into the lab, and let's say they have a quick question right before they go to their lab class or their lecture class. The tutor is always here available for them to answer that question. It could be, usually we tell students to come with a list of questions. It's just easier to address the tutoring session to take place rather than just to come in and say, I haven't read the chapter, or you haven't come prepared. It's harder to have an effective tutoring session when they don't come equipped for a tutoring session. And one-on-one sessions, like I said, we don't have any for anatomy and physiology. We do offer one-on-one sessions for microbiology, because I've seen in particular that most microbiology students want that one-on-one, or they need that one-on-one rather than a group, just because a lot of microbiology students right now are not in the same, or the students that are coming are not at the same level, so they do prefer the one-on-one tutoring. So I have offered them some one-on-one tutoring throughout the week. So what you see around here set up already for finals, which we're excited, right, Brenda? We're excited for finals. They're right around the corner. So we actually, if you guys want to take the time to step up and actually view it, you're free to do so. So this is the layout. On this side of the room, we have A&P 1. On this side of the room, we have A&P 2. So what does it consist of? It consists of models and slides. Students, we have, thanks for graphic design, Yashua Machado. He created these flyers that indicates, so this indicates the time for the time mock practical. What that means is that when the student comes in, I have a tutor proctoring that exam. Meaning they come in, they have 1 minute per station. In here they have 1 minute, but I was informed that in their actual exam, I've heard from other colleges it's 30 seconds, but for here, for Broward College, it's it's a minute and 30 seconds. So it's a little extended what I've heard from other campuses that they do it 30 seconds. So, but I was talking to a faculty member from another college. If you know the answer, if you think about it, I tell the students, if you know it, you can answer it within less than 5 seconds. You just write it down. So 30 seconds, I don't know, Professor Siddique, we might think about bringing it to 30 seconds.
Well, in this campus, they answer 2 questions for, per station. So we give them about a minute per station.
So it's 30 seconds
So
per
that's
question.
Yeah, and then some students want to keep thinking and whatnot, sometimes they come up with the correct answer, most of the time they can't. And I tell them, if you know, you just get it in a few seconds. It really, 1 minute is more than enough.
So as the student comes in, we already had these pre-printed forms for them, so it's just pretty much quick. All they need is this sheet, we have just the number of stations already pre-printed for them. All they have to bring is a pencil, and then they stand before a station. They can start whichever station, because in their actual exam, they don't start in station 1, so that's another thing. You have to be very observant and pay attention which station they start at as well. And then once they are, after a minute passes by, the student starts at, let's say, starting at station 10. So then a minute goes by, we tell the students to take a step to the right, and then a minute goes by, and another minute, until they reach back to the station that they started. That means that the exam proctor test is done, and the tutor who is proctoring the exam has this key answer book, and they revise they go over all of the answers, and that's where the student can see where the weaknesses and where their strengths are, and the tutor is right there to help them out if they need assistance right there and then. Oh yes, and it's set up 2 weeks prior to their actual exam dates. And now, other than this mock practical, we use other tools such as the Microscope Presentation, which we're actually going to go on the other side of the room for that, where Francois and other tutors use this tool to present slides to the students as not as individual but as a group. And we're going
If you follow me, please.
a few steps to the other side.
You can have a seat if you want, if you prefer.
You can have a seat if you want and pretend that you're students.
In
And
fact,
he's gonna tutor you.
although the students have been having the opportunity to use the lab. As we can see, it's in a very well-equipped lab, evidently with the help of the wonderful help of those tutors. We have taken the liberty to introduce to the students something that's an additional tool, which is the microscope presentation. On that, we are able to show the students on the flat screen what is happening with the tissues on a wider, as we call it, field of view. So this is practically what a student sees on a microscope, but evidently during the slide presentation, I am able to navigate through the slide and show the student different part of that slide, where the student can easily be able to see different type of tissues, of course the epithelial layer, and again we could be able to go in and see the connective tissue with the cartilage and stuff. Now, the purpose of these slideshows is not only to enable the students to familiarize themselves with the slide, but also to help the students to know how to navigate through that slide. This is, as I said, a slide where we can see a superficial layer and where you can see, I'm sorry.
It's somewhat sensitive.
I believe that.
Don't worry, we don't know. You can tell us where the thing is, and we're like,
So,
oh, okay.
As you can see, if you magnify, okay, you are able to go deeper into the slide and then study much more what is happening with that particular slide or the tissue. But the whole purpose of it is to help the student to get what he gets from this instruction of the slides and then go and implement it with the microscope, where we encourage them to be one with that microscope. But furthermore, one of the most prioritized objective of this slideshow is to make sure that we create a group. We do it as a group so we can advertise group study. we can advertise challenges. Usually I play the dummy or the inquisitive additional student who likes to ask questions. Or very importantly, what I love to do is that a student asks me a question, thinking that I'm going to answer. I'm going to throw the question right back at you. Then you're going to tell me, what is your job here? You're supposed to, no, my dear student, we are going to go to the book because I don't know. I don't know why they pay me, therefore let's go to the book. And then they know that, please, we're going to ask Francois that question, Francois is going to throw it right back at us. And then by asking questions, next thing we know, dynamism is created, occurs, and then everybody is profiting and benefiting from that particular question. So therefore, we advertise, we promote group studies, we promote questioning, and of course, I get the opportunity also to help them to create networking, because they need that. They need to be able to interact, to get information from each other, exchange phone numbers, and making sure that they don't practice individualism. Students, yes. Students usually, they will want to study by themselves, and then next thing you know, it doesn't work that way, because in a healthcare field, there has to be a team to heal a patient. So therefore, we create it here. So that's mainly what this is about. Let's go to the next room so we can proceed with the presentation.
Also, this is again what we wanted to show you too. We bought this equipment that attaches to the microscope for $150 in Amazon. So if you cannot afford anything, but at least one microscope and $150 that you can purchase something, then you can, this is connected to the TV, but it's also you can connect it to a computer,
Correct.
a laptop, like
And it's
anything
very
you want.
easy to
And at
put
least you
together.
get to
It's
do
just
a group session.
3 parts,
Correct.
really. It's just this part right here, which goes into the ocular lens, and then the camera, which is this, and then the cord that connects to
Correct.
it. So it's just pretty much 3 pieces, so it's very easy friendly to use.
If I can put it together, anybody.
Okay, bye.
So again, as you can see, we utilize microscope instruction to support tutoring assistance. So we believe that if the student has a good foundation in slideshow, in knowing about the slides, with the addition of A&P lecture in physiology, that student should have a very good foundation on A&P. Okay, and again, as I wanted to inform you, why is it that we are doing such a practice? Why we do not continue to keep traditional tutoring versus what we're doing, which we can call it non-traditional. Indeed, we could see how the slideshow and so forth has been a priority for us, and it's been working for our students in excelling with A&P. So that's one of the things that is supporting non-traditional, what we are implementing. Also, we are, again, having the opportunity to introduce and then encourage students to do group study, to teamwork, okay? And it's been working as well. And again, as I said, I always making sure that I remind the students that teamwork is important. It takes a team to heal a patient and all these things, and it's been working, okay? Additionally, for tutoring appreciation, we could see, of course, this is the old man here doing his thing. We could see how, well, we know that the students have been getting the right information, the right implementation, but last semester we were very fortunate to have had what you call the potluck, where the students have initiated the multicultural, multi-ethnic type of potluck, where they wanted to show their appreciation to the students. And I'm not sure how to.
My name is Danielle, and I'm considering nursing. So that's why I decided to take AMP1 as a prerequisite for the nursing program. Definitely, I come as often as I can because I know it's important that I be here to, be, hands-on with the models. I'm a very visual learner, so it's very helpful to have these models accessible to me. Well, I can definitely say that I gained a love for anatomy. I never knew that I would enjoy it so much. And coming here, I also, not only did I gain knowledge, I gained, friends who are just as interested, and it makes it enjoyable for me to learn this subject. Well, I would tell them you better run to the AST and get some help as soon as you can if you're struggling, because it's just one day here and you'll already feel like you've improved, like you can really conquer A&P.
My name is Gwyneth Alion Sobit, and the program I'm studying for is my AS in nursing. They're the models that are the same models in your practical lab, and you can use them to do your research or even to learn as well. It does help us learn better because one answer that you think could be right may be wrong, and you have the opportunity to learn from your peers. Actually, there's nothing to improve. Martha and the tutors here actually accommodate to your schedule as well. If there is a Dynamis program going on and you're unable to attend, you can actually go to Martha to schedule a Dynamis once there's 5 people or more. And she has done that many occasions, for me especially.
Well, thank you, Francois. Well, you have gone through all this all day, so you have heard the whole story. I really don't have much to add. I started teaching here at Broward College in 2000, and I have been teaching anatomy since 2003. Soon after starting, I realized the students are very much overwhelmed with the amount of material they have to consume and retain. And I also realized that it's never enough time in the lecture or the lab to cover all the material in a timely fashion, which needs to be completed for the course. So I started encouraging them to come here and use the anatomy and physiology lab, more than 10 years back now. And then, as you already saw, in 2003, they had only that kitchen as the lab. Very little resources in terms of tutor availability and models. So I also started coming here and just started to interact with the students. What I noticed that the students were asking questions more freely in this setup. They were actually answering to my questions more than they do in the classroom. So I just realized that they are actually more comfortable in the informal setting. And that's a plus, I felt. There must be some stigma with the classroom thing that they don't speak up. So that was encouraging, that I'm getting better feedback. So started using the lab, encouraging them to come and use the lab. In 2003, I guess this lab used to be called Learning Resource Center, or LRC. Recently the name changed to Academic Success Center, or ASC. Between the name changes, many years have passed, and I have seen great changes here. I mean, amazing changes, and that was possible because of dynamic leadership of Dean Nasi here, and Associate Dean Sweeney, been always amazing, and her great team led by Martha, Francois. They all do amazing stuff. Anyway, so good results. I truly believe that A&P lab is an integral part of learning anatomy, physiology. I mean, without this, actually it doesn't happen, just learning in classroom. So I promote this. I love this facility. I promote this. I encourage my colleagues to promote the use of the lab. I actually, a few years back, I actually started collecting data with the help of Mr. Francois here, and what I found out that the passing rate among the students who were using the lab were amazingly higher than the students who were not using the lab. But unfortunately, you can only tell the students so many times to come and not get the result, meaning a lot of the students would not show up until only the midterm or the final, when they do not realize that, I mean, 2 days cramming is really not going to help. It's a continuous process that needs to start from the very beginning. Anyway, we try to talk all that, but a key thing, of course, here, I think to run a successful lab, you need knowledgeable, dedicated, and motivated tutors also, on top of having all the fancy stuff. I mean, the models and, yeah, you can get the funds, but you also need people who would be actually communicating and dealing with students who understand student language and can communicate accordingly. That's important, to get the right staff. And the other thing I think is, what would I say, the communication and collaboration. We have on our card about collaboration. Communication between the staff of the Academic Success Center with the faculty, which we get a lot from here. That's very important. At the beginning of every semester, Martha sends out email to all of us, and we try to actually give them a minute, or actually not a minute, almost 5 minutes, which is very precious for us, but we give up the 5 minutes. I literally do it for all my lectures and labs. They come in, they introduce themselves, they let the student know what they have to offer here in terms of model slides, the tutors, the schedule, etc. One other interesting thing I've seen great results with is when they started collecting email addresses. You know, they have a pre-printed sheet that they come to the class with, and they pass it out. And there is this few slots. I've never read it, paying attention to the whole thing, but students put their name and email address and their time available during the days, like when they do not work. So they actually actively participate in forming study groups. They communicate with the student. They see this student is available Saturday between 12 to 2, and find out another student who is also available between 12 to 2 or something like that, and they form study groups, and student comes in groups and whatnot, and avail the the resources here. And I've always seen great results. As I told you, from data or not, we have seen better numbers in our classes. So what you guys are doing, great. I'm not sure exactly how it's going on. I hope you got some good tips, and we will exchange information that'll help both ends. And yeah, go Academic Success Center.
So now you know why I asked Professor Siddique to come over here. He came on his day off. He came in today. You know, faculty should not here on Friday afternoon this late. But this is the type of faculty that is a pioneer, and I think that's also a good practice. Not everybody, it's go home, the ASC, and in our learning center, but just latch on to that one, because then they'll spread it, and everything will be good. Any quick questions? We have about 5 minutes of questions before you have to head out to your next, to the final session. No? You guys are good.
If you haven't had a chance to get a copy of the form, that's here.
So thank you so much. Our information are online on the FCLCA. You also have in your folder our contact information. If you have any follow-up questions, I'll be happy to share any data that I have with me. Sometimes we think, oh, by the time I collect data, improve about, it doesn't matter. Find a college or university that is similar to you, that is already doing something that is working, such as this. and then say, this college, this is the result they're seeing. Therefore, most likely, we see. So go for that. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.